Mr. Abgel shook his head, disgust flickering across his face like lightning over a storm-tossed sea. "A favor?" he spat. "Your idea of excitement is a sickness, an infection festering beneath the skin of this place. I'd suggest you try a vegan diet, but your appetite is stitched from nightmares and bone. You missed the hunt so much you painted your own face across the dark, again and again, the same monstrous mask that stalks my dreams and stains these halls with grief. Tonight your hunger finds its grave. I'll see to it myself." His words were iron, forged in old wounds and righteous fury. "Oh, I hear you, Abgel. Your words beat at me like moths battering a lantern," the creature purred, lips twisting in a mock pout beneath horns that curled like storm clouds and fur glistening with the promise of violence. Innocent, of course, blameless as dawn. His voice slithered from innocence to guile, weaving a web of lies gilded in charm, every syllable designed to coil around Mr. Abgel's defenses and squeeze. Every complaint, every suit, your name stains them all like blood on snow. Negligence seeps from these walls, spreading like shadow ink, blotting out hope. Patience vanish, names swallowed by the cracks, ghosts wandering the halls of what was once a sanctuary. And just now, not 30 minutes past, I found your spawn cooling on a slab in the morgue, the pathologists blind to the horror before them. But I saw. I always see the truth beneath the rot. Mr. Abgel's voice was a scalpel, each word slicing through the creature's facade. That corpse, skin waxen, eyes empty, a shiver that crawled up my spine and nested behind my heart. Only you fit the shadow that memory casts. I expected cannibal demons to be careless, to toss away bones and secrets with the rest of their filth. But a human jawbone, buried in the guts of your mimic. No, that's a riddle, a message carved in horror. And the handwriting is yours, Atasaya, Mr. Abgel finished, his tone a cold wind through the morgue. "Are you sure you found a jawbone in the stomach of a creature that resembled me?" Atasaya said with a smirk. "Am I sure?" The jawbone was positively identified by a grieving relative of the deceased, thanks to the unique tooth jewelry embedded in its enamel, gold letters that whispered of a life cut too short. Following the trail of evidence wherever it led was imperative. It was only a matter of time before this grotesque puzzle revealed its final piece and pointed me directly to you, Mr. Abgel stated, his voice steady yet laced with an undercurrent of righteous anger as he faced the cannibal demon. "If these creatures are really my copies, still eating bones, it just means they haven't matured yet. As they grow, they'll find better uses for those bones. As for the hospital events, you're blaming me without proof. What happened to my right to due process? You treat me like a criminal, but you have no real evidence. And your threats are just meant to scare me. You've dragged my name through the mud for too long. Maybe it's time I reported you to the authorities," the creature replied, its voice defiant and determined. "Reverse psychology won't work on me. I've recorded 200 lawsuits against you. You're behind the many disappearances in this town, so don't try to manipulate me, Atasaya. At least own up to what you've done. It's hard to believe anyone would trust you. For you and your kind, trust doesn't exist, so laws and rules don't matter. Your due process is meaningless," Mr. Abgel said, his voice steady as he stared into the creature's eyes. "I take great pride in my work," Atasaya said, his voice low and echoing in the chamber. "This hospital had lawsuits long before I arrived, but in the past year, I may have caused more. I had a reason. Morningstar's minions wiped out my entire race, but I came up with a new idea, to create a world full of cannibal demons like me." His words carried both ambition and menace. Mr. Abgel's look changed from doubt to disbelief as he stepped closer, staring at Atasaya. "All you cannibal demons do is feast," he said, his voice urgent. "But have you thought about what happens if you eat every creature in the demon realm? The emptiness left behind would be a disaster, causing the whole ecosystem to collapse, he warned, worried about more destruction. I wouldn't know, since that's just a theory, Atasaya replied, his voice full of scorn and confidence. He paced around the room, muscles moving smoothly under his fur. He smirked, showing sharp teeth, as if the hospital room were his stage, and Mr. Abgel were just an audience to his plan. If your kind enters the human world, it could cause an extinction event like nothing we've seen, Mr. Abgel warned, his voice hard. He imagined ruined cities, smoky skies, and desperate people trying to survive, his hands clenched into fists as he felt the weight of the threat. You might be right, but I won't give up on ruling the human world, Atasaya said, his voice deep and certain. His eyes glowed and his claws flexed. For a moment, the room seemed darker, shadows gathering around him. His words echoed with the drive behind his actions. As you can see, Mr. Abgel, my dream is already coming true, Atasaya said. He threw his head back and let out a chilling, guttural laugh that echoed through the room. The sound made Mr. Abgel shiver and gave him goosebumps. What's so funny? You shouldn't be laughing, Mr. Abgel replied, his words sharp but uncertain. He felt uneasy, trying to understand the real threat. The harsh lights made Atasaya's features stand out, and Mr. Abgel felt the room closing in on him. I wouldn't be so sure, Atasaya said, sneering. His voice was cold and mocking. Pain doesn't matter. You should worry about how my dream becomes your nightmare, how I bend reality to my will. Alliances are key. My first was the CEO of Neptune Medical Center. His confidence filled the room, making the air feel heavy. What about her? Mr. Abgel asked, frowning in confusion and suspicion. He tried to understand this new part of Atasaya's plan, his mind racing. The clean smell of antiseptic was replaced by something worse, fear or corruption, hanging in the air between them. You lack imagination, Mr. Abgel, Atasaya said, his voice full of condescension and dark pleasure. He moved closer, claws clicking on the tile. I see the whole picture. Months ago I took over her body, a necessary sacrifice. I ordered 500 exowombs and brought them here. Disguised as her, I hired the region's top reproductive endocrinologists. They taught me how to fertilize eggs, grow them in exowombs, and control every part of human development. I watched, learned, and perfected it. Atasaya's eyes shone with excitement as his words mixed science and horror. What did you do with the endocrinologist? Mr. Abgel asked, his voice tense with anger and fear. He glanced at the sealed metal container in the corner, suspicion growing as he realized the truth. Wouldn't you like to know? Atasaya taunted, a twisted smile on his monstrous face. After she taught me all she knew, I made her a mother. Poetic, isn't it? He pushed himself up, swaying as nausea hit him. He fought back the urge to vomit, keeping his eyes fixed on Mr. Abgel with a hungry stare. Do you really expect me to believe any of this? What did you do with the doctor? Mr. Abgel's disbelief showed, and the tension in the room increased. I'm not joking, Mr. Abgel. That doctor is now the mother of my children. I needed her eggs to replicate my own DNA, Atasaya said. His words hung in the air as he stared at Mr. Abgel. Where is the doctor? Mr. Abgel shouted, his voice shaking with shock and anger. The reality of the situation hit him hard. Mr. Abgel, let's stay calm. We both know the answer, Atasaya said, smirking as he pointed to the sealed container in the corner. The metal rattled in the quiet room, hinting at the dark secret inside. So, tell me, how many monsters have you made so far? Mr. Abgel asked, his voice a mix of curiosity and disgust as he walked toward the container with the doctor's bones. Each piece told a sad story of Atasaya's dark plans. Atasaya stood up straighter and pushed his messy hair back. For a moment, pride showed through his sadness. I've made 500 so far. Another 500 are growing in the exowombs, he said, his voice tired but determined. "Why? Are you pretending to care about my goals now?" Mr. Abgel let out a cold laugh. He smiled and grabbed his blade, its steel shining in the dim light. "We both know that's not going to happen. I only asked because I'm going to send your spawns where you're going." He lunged forward, swinging the blade with purpose. Still, Atasaya did not move, urgency pushing him to stand firm. His eyes shone with determination, showing no fear, only a strong will to protect what he had created. The room grew silent, the tension building as the fight approached. "You'll need more than a kitchen tool to hurt my children," Atasaya said, his voice confident. He shoved Mr. Abgel back, sending him into the wall and making him drop his sword. These children were not human. They came from his twisted experiments, each one showing his dark intentions. Atasaya threw Mr. Abgel into the hall and mocked him, talking about spreading his creations until humanity was gone. "I will be the father of a new earth," he said, his voice wild with ambition. He attacked Mr. Abgel, each punch fueled by hatred. His roar echoed through the hospital, calling the other 493 creatures to him. Soon, a wild crowd of twisted bodies and faces rushed to their creator. The stampede shook the halls and stairs, filling the hospital with chaos and fear. As they moved to the lower level, Mr. Abgel felt the horde coming, their twisted bodies crawling on every surface and closing in fast. He realized he could no longer pretend to be weak.